Good morning. How's everyone doing? Welcome to December. So, if you have not noticed yet, this wood year, the year of the wood snake, let's see if I can get my words together this morning. They have not been good. um, this closing out of this first, we've got the last month of the calendar year, right? But we also have the last 2 months ish of the last push of the wood snake, the year of the wood snake, before we head into the year of the fire horse. And so many, I'm seeing it all around me. So many people are having some health issues, heart, full body for some, that are clearing out the last vestiges. That's not a word I use every day, but it's a word I'm given. Vestiges of this year of purging old identities all across the board. So this morning I wanted to come on and do just a Divine Masculine read. I will do the Divine Feminine probably later on this week, and a full moon reading wanting to come through. I'm already feeling that. We have a full moon on Thursday. I'm recording this on Tuesday the 2nd, which is, those of you who have seen my granddaughter Quinn on this channel, she turns 13 this beautiful day, beautiful snowy day in upstate New York. I've already got cards flipping and flying. So I've got Angel of Abundance coming, or Angel of Balance. Interesting, I said abundance. So your guidance, our guidance is coming through, bringing in for the Divine Masculine Collective. And again, watch this for your significant other or your own internal masculine energy, bringing in balance. This year has been a year of rocking some cages, I'm hearing. We've got the 6th chakra also coming through, the third eye. I've been really drawn to mention next time I came on, which is, here we are, is, it would be good if you have not read the Emerald Tablets to go through and read those. But if you have, go through and read the last, the last 2 tablets. I think there's 14 if I'm remembering correctly, or maybe it's just a reread the last one. Something about resetting who you are. Luna is saying good morning this morning. What are you doing? She has been acting very, oh, there she is, right in the corner of the camera. Very peculiar. See, the words just are going to have a hard time flowing off my tongue here today. We are in also the last few weeks, days of the last Mercury retrograde, and it has been tripping my words up for sure. We've got the broken heart coming in, so seeing very clearly the Divine Masculine. I've got one more I'm hearing. Certainly clearing up where they have been out of balance within their lives, in connections, out of balance with who they view themselves to be versus who their soul is calling them to be. I don't feel this broken heart as it's true to the words as what it suggests. Some may be going through some closing out cycles in relationships, jobs, friendships, but this feels more like an epiphany. And traditionally, we experience an epiphany in the mind space, right? This feels more of the heart space. Who have I been showing myself to be that's out of alignment with who my soul is, who and what my soul is calling me to become? And becoming is the word that I've been given for myself, excuse me, since this summer. but definitely can relate to either masculine, feminine, or feminine energies. Spirit is saying I do have one more, and there it is. Thank you, Spirit, for the Divine Masculine Collective. Ooh, love that. I'm getting really full power with this first chakra. Really rooted and grounded. Excuse me. I am still dealing with some throat activations and upgrades going on since the summer. So pardon me if I'm constantly clearing my throat or coughing. Some days I don't have anything. Other days it's a lot. But this is where the Divine Masculine is really finding who they are, stepping into their power, getting rooted and grounded in alignment with who they're meant to become. So let's check in where they're at in their heart space, in their mind space, what they're maybe facing in the third dimensional realities that they're experiencing. Feeling a very protective energy with the Angel of Balance and this Archangel Metatron coming through with the 6th chakra. We've got Archangel Michael with the base chakra here. For some of them, this is definitely career-wise, where they've been just beating themselves against a rock, doing what they thought they needed to do, the grind, it's just like the daily grind. I'm hearing same shit, different pile, which is what my ex-husband used to say, but that Groundhog Day effect coming through here. Feeling like that's really clearing out this month. So let's take a look here. Wow, right off the bat, we've got the Devil and the Sun coming out. This is where they are clearing out all, seeing very clearly and having illuminated for them all the toxicity that they've been allowing in their experiences. Feeling ready for a new beginning. Cutting some cords, cutting some chains. This Divine Masculine Collective may have been going through a lot of generational chain cutting and clearing. Seeing where they've allowed patterns to puppeteer them, I'm hearing. 5 of Swords. Interesting. This has been coming out a lot in some readings I've been doing. Really, it's an internal mental struggle of the old shedding. I'm being reminded how we all get used to the patterns we're living, the mindsets that we're allowing to dictate our lives, right? Our actions, our thoughts, our emotions. And this is just really clearing that all out, finally saying no more to any of this energy that's competition, any of this energy that's keeping up with the Joneses. Thank you, Spirit. What else works? So that's their overall energy. The Spirit is saying that's where they're at. They can feel and see the new wanting to come in, their new self wanting to be expressed and shown to the world after a deep dark night of the soul, deep for some deep karmic clearing this week, or perhaps the rest of this month may be where they've got to really talk themselves off the ledge about where the old patterns start wanting to come in. So where are they in their mind space? Let's clarify where this Five of Swords is coming from. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Ace of Wands in reverse. You know, I typically don't read the reversals, but it showed up in the reverse. You know, where they haven't had the energy, the time, or even the inspiration. They may have had a period of what we would call in the spiritual community as the void, but I feel like they're coming out of that. Three of Pentacles here. And we've got the Star. So healing being done, illumination, Sun and the Star, beautiful illumination of where they've, excuse me, been putting their time and energy into things that just don't come to fruition. Like I said, I just keep seeing this hamster wheel. It's just going through the motions over and over and over again. I also want to say in the mind space here, this is where they haven't seen, thought, even felt much inspiration where they were in friend groups, career, relationships, whatever group or community situations, just haven't, it's lost their spark. But guess what? Here comes the spark, right? Getting some ideas, starting to get some downloads this month. Where are they in their heart space, Spirit, for the Divine Masculine Collective? Really finding balance. I'm being honed in on the two cups here. How she's pouring one into the pond, into the water, and the consciousness, the downloads, and one onto the land. It's like pulling that down into the physical reality. That's interesting. For this collective that I'm tapping into, traditionally, I know, Luna, that we think of hope as being from the heart space. This is coming through in the mind space for the Divine Masculine. You know, the Divine Masculine, males do think differently and act differently than females, even though, you know, we are wired pretty much the same. No matter what anybody else believes, that's what I believe. It's like they're finding hope again, but it starts in the mindset for this collective. Where they are in their heart space, we have the Knight of Pentacles, and we there it is, that conflict. How do I move forward? How do I move forward? How do I put myself out there and be able to shine as like, what do I have to offer to the world that's so different than what I've been offering before, or from what other people are offering? You know, it's like, I can speak for this, you know, years ago, even this year, I was challenged with it, with this channel, is, you know, I want to bring through things that are different than other YouTube channels. You know, so many of us do weekly readings, so many of us do twin flame readings, divine counterpart readings, or zodiac readings. I'm searching, I've been searching for how can I make myself stand out in this Divine Masculine collective. Feels that's where they're at. How can I stand out? I've got this spark that's reigniting within me, and it's not the same as before. You know, we wish for things to get back to the way they used to be. Well, things can never be the way they used to be because our vibration changes, and as we evolve, we have to show up as our highest version in any moment. And this just feels like this is where this divine masculine is really trying to work out who they are, how they can implement that and show up in the world, even in their day-to-day life, even if some things don't change, like they still go to the same job or see the same people. How do I show up as the new me, the real me? And how are people going to receive that? It's like he's looking right at this group of people and seeing and feeling, yeah, gosh, I've got so much to offer. I see my worth. I see my value now. But how is that going to work in the real world? One more for the divine masculine's heart space for this collective. Yeah. Seven of Pentacles. They're really working out in their heart space how they even feel about themselves, the selves that they're becoming, because they can feel that they're not fully embodied and fully anchored into that, and but they can feel that they've put a lot of time and energy and effort into themselves. They've done a lot of the internal work, the shadow work, and they've had glimpses with the sun and the star there. They've had glimpses of this spark, this shine, this excitement, this joy, this hope rising within them. But when it comes to really showing themselves to the world, it makes them pause. Their heart space is like, how do I feel safe for chakra? Do I feel safe in showing this to this group of people that I'm traditionally around day in and day out? What's going on in their 3D reality here? Anything else you can show us that hasn't already been discussed, Spirit? Bam. Yeah, they're ready. Some of them may be moving, some may be traveling, but they've cleared the path. They've gone through the devil energy, the shadow work. Kind of felt like they didn't, lost their spark and they didn't know who they weren't getting any kind of inspiration, probably the way that they thought they should be receiving it, because remember, this Ace of Wands in the reverse is in the mind space, right? So it's showing up differently. Here's that spark again, but it's showing up differently for them. I feel like this is like trying on a new pair of shoes, or I can relate to this, or like putting on a pair of roller skates that you haven't roller skated in years, decades even. And they say, like riding a bike, you fall off, you get on, and riding a horse, you fall off, you get on. It's old hat, you remember. And we do, but it's that initial stage of what ifs. What if this fails? What if I can't do this? What if I'm not received? What if I'm not accepted? Divine masculine, if you're feeling this, it doesn't matter how you're received. It matters how you present yourself. And you are ready for this new journey. You've got the innocence from the sun coming out with the Fool card. taking with you only those people that you can trust with your heart, with your goals, taking with you only the wisdom that you've gained on the journey so far. And you've gained a lot of trust and faith in the universe and in yourself here. But it feels like that clenching in the heart space feels like it's just old stuff trying to come out again. Like I said, we're in the last few weeks really of the year of the snake. This is a deep shedding of, you know, who we've been, our old identities, straight across the board in every area of our lives. What else is going on in the 3D reality for this Divine Masculine Collective? Oh, we've got 3 coming out here. Ooh, there, yeah, there it is. 2 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Cups. Or 6, sorry, well, I said 9 of Cups. So there's joy, there's wishes, there's some reminiscence coming in with the 6 of Cups here of, can I go back to something that I've already put time and energy and effort into? If this is the Divine Masculine coming back to together with their counterpart that they may have been together before with them, it's just right now they may not be seeing the way forward, but they can feel the energy moving them in a new direction. They want okay, so they're doing a lot of reflecting, reminiscing, thinking back to better times, easier times, times when they didn't have to ride the hamster wheel. Some of them may be getting out of like corporate America, starting to get into a craft or something they once considered a hobby, and really fine-tuning it to build something new for themselves. And I love that. That just gave me chills all down my spine. I love that. So this could be a resurgence of an old dream, a childhood dream, a childhood connection, or you know, a connection from the past with their divine feminine. Let me take a look at this 2 of Swords here in the 3rd dimensional realities here. Yeah, so they're not quite fully seeing the path forward. They've had to, with the Fool, we have to trust fully, right? To take that leap of faith. So they're leaning into that, it feels like. It can be a little scary, you know, that kind of explains why the 5 of Swords is there in their overall energy. It can be a little scary. It's like waiting for the other shoe to drop. Things are starting to look good. Things are starting to, or even if they're not physically looking good or better right now, they're starting to feel that rush of the newness coming in. But they're not quite seeing it. So for many of them, they're not quite seeing this path forward yet. Let's take a look at that 5 of Swords in the overall energy. So we've got the Judgment, and I'm hearing, yeah, they're just so stuck in this mindset of how other people are going to receive them. For many of them, they've had a spontaneous awakening, and they've done the work. They've cleared out some old energies. They're choosing. So with the Temperance, or the Judgment, interesting, Temperance, there's no Freudian slips here, right? So keep that in mind. But with this judgment, it's like, we're given the opportunity to do something over again, getting a second chance, taking a look at, with the Seven of Pentacles, taking a look at the effort that we've put in and the effort we haven't put in, and really, advancing and just getting this big wave of dedication to their journey, dedication to themselves. You know what? I've been riding that hamster wheel for too long. I've been doing it because that's what mom and dad said. That's what society expected me, or, expected from me. This is the career that was expected of me. This is the Divine Masculine Collective, specifically this one that I'm tapping into, that's ready for something brand new. Like I said, some of them could be uncovering or like, oh, okay. So I'm being shown someone like going through and like cleaning out the house, like decluttering the house, and finding a box of childhood dreams and memories, kind of like a what is that called? A vision board, kind of like a vision board, and go, oh yeah, I remember when I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that, and they're saying, well, why not now? It's never too late. Something here is sparking them, saying it's never too late to create. I'm sorry about my words. Never too late to create, put the time and effort into something else, something that brings me joy, something that I wanted to do since I was a child. And when I used to do it, it brought me so much joy and lightheartedness. This seriously feels like a collective of divine masculines who are done with the way that they've been living their lives and really wanting to, you can hear Luna playing with her bell ball, really wanting to get back to something that just brings them joy. For some of them, if they've been riding the hamster wheel in a career or a trade, this is about remembering why you started that in the first place, right? Remember why you're doing the work that you're doing. Like, if this is a connection, which is interesting, I don't have a lot of that here. I don't have the divine feminine showing up, which is fine, but it's like a lot of marriages or partnerships get to a point where they're like, the spark is gone. The spark is gone. And when they come to me, I usually say to them, remember why you fell in love. If you can find that and it still exists, how can you build on that? This divine masculine is ready to build on something that they love, something that brings them joy, something that makes them feel young again. She is such a fascinating cat. I am so happy she found me. Yeah, really taking whatever that dream is or was off the shelf and dusting it off and clearing the path to make it a reality. And Spirit is really moving them in this. They've been rearranging the chess pieces, so to speak. But I feel like if this is all just a weekly energy read or an overall monthly read, I'm not sure. You can figure that out for your own self. But there is a moment, there is a time space in this read that says, I don't know if I can do it. I can't really see I've got the idea, but I can't see the vision of it yet. I can't see it. Another example, I'm staring at my mural on my wall. It's almost done, so I thought, until last night I was shown the full vision of it, which I've not seen before, because I've been sitting here going, something's just not pulling it all together for me. And I couldn't quite get what that was. And then suddenly last night, I could see it. I could see it. And now I'm trying to figure out how can I implement. I'm reassessing what I've already got there on the wall. So I'm not having to go back and backtrack and redo like the canopy and stuff like that. How do I implement this full vision that I now see with what's already on the wall? Does that make sense? So this divine masculine that's where I feel like that's where this Two of Swords is. I can't quite see the full vision yet, but they're trusting. Like I was trusting in spirit I know you're going to show me when I'm ready to see it. And I was ready to see it last night. And the universe is moving this divine masculine in the right direction. So they're going to have the opportunity to show up in their 3D reality as their new selves. There's going to be maybe some adjustments. There's going to be a lot of, like I like to say, flicking it off the shoulder, like that little devil on the shoulder that says, well, what's so-and-so going to say about this? Or how are people going to receive you? They're doing a lot of brushing that off so they can move forward, because that's all just the monkey mind, right? It's all the old patterns. It's all the old belief systems that they've done a great job of clearing out. Right now, these last couple months are going to be, as we close out this last decade, we're moving from a 9-year to a 10-year. And, it's it's a new beginning. They're really ready for this new beginning, trusting in spirit, trusting in whatever higher power they believe in. But still that lower mind is coming in, or may start to come in here and there, saying, if I can't see it, I can't make it happen. Well, divine masculines, especially if you are a male specifically, are going to need to really lean into their heart space and their feeling. How do they feel about this? How do they feel about who they were versus who they're becoming? And allow that new feeling, that new, just that in itself, allowing themselves to feel what it is that they want, where it is they want, who it is that they want, and not caring about what everybody else is going to say, what is going to look like to the outside world. Trying to see if there's anything else. Let's take a look at this Knight of Pentacles. Moving forward, really dedicated to the path. Oh, I love that. So Spirit is showing me. So this row is the heart space, right? But they're really dedicated to move forward. They're going to barrel through this group of people, this old belief system that they've had that says you can't do this. There's nothing about you that stands out, and they're going to really start putting in the time and the effort into themselves. And it certainly does feel like they're seeing now it comes from the heart space and not from the mind space. Lovers, Knight of Pentacles, making better choices for themselves, making choices from the heart space and not just the head space. I mean, we do need to make choices from the head space at times, but when we make them through the heart and the mind together, we get better results, I feel, a lot of times, especially when it's something we need to implement here. Like, I was overthinking this mural, and then last night it was just something it just came to me, and it came to me through the heart space. I could feel it moving through me, and then I could see it. And this Divine Masculine Collective is starting to see who they are. They're starting to see it. If they're not yet, they will by the end of the month. Clarifying or adding more, to the Lovers. And there she is. The Empress comes through with the Page of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. This Divine Masculine, he's going to have a little bit of a wobble. You know, the Page of Wands doesn't quite show up steadily. So I feel like this Divine Feminine is really drawing in this masculine, and it gives him a little bit of a wobble. Can I measure up? Am I worthy of this? There's a lot about balance here, because I did mention the Temperance card, and I've got balance here. We've got the Angel of Balance, and I was honed in on those two cuts with the Star card, and we've got this Two of Pentacles. So it feels like this Divine Feminine is saying, don't worry about it. We will figure it out as we go along. We've got to start new. We've got to start fresh. But we've just got to start. It may be a bumpy start, but I've got all the time in the world. She's not waiting. She's open to receive. Her heart is open. Divine Masculine, I feel this month gets the revelation, like I mentioned before, the aha moment, but not here. It's here. Gets the aha moment that all of this, his whole life, everything that he's been going through, especially as we close out this last 10-year cycle, it's been for connection with the Divine Feminine, with their own internal divine, feminine energy, their intuition, making choices from the heart space. Yeah, bottom of the deck, Tower with 10 of Swords. There's some endings that have had to occur. There's the 10 of Pentacles, the Magician. Yeah, some of them may be in connections that they know they have to end, but they feel that another connection, like they feel like their legacy is calling them, being manifested through the ethers, of course, but there are some endings that need to occur first, if they have not already. And I feel like those endings give the Divine Masculine the getting the word gumption the gumption to really see how powerful they are, and to move forward and to create something so much bigger than what they've been creating. But remember, the Fool takes the wisdom from what they've already created and moves forward, trusting that they'll have everything that they need. And here's the Magician. He knows, he trusts, he believes. He's got everything he needs. The universe has supplied him with everything. Yeah, that's the becoming the Magician, knowing how to use and implement every tool that he's been given. Building a new legacy for themselves. Putting the past in the past. Even if it is coming back together with somebody that they've known, or past life soulmate. it's like not bringing any of that with us. Let's get some final messages here for this Divine Masculine Collective. We have abundance coming in. And we do have a lot of pentacles. Got 3 pentacles, 2 pentacles, 7 and 8 of pentacles, 10 of pentacles. So this is something that can really be grounded. We've got the first chakra here with Archangel Michael. You know, call upon Archangel Michael to help you, to show you how to implement this in this reality. Remember, abundance is not just money. It's love, it's happiness, it's joy. Change your tune. That's exactly what this Divine Masculine Collective is doing. I feel like they start out very small and kind of test it out with a small group of people, maybe some close friends, but they've changed their tune. They will be seen very clearly if they're not already. I feel like a majority of them are, but this is just the final cleanup as we close out the year of the snake. And one final message: transformation. Finding that balance. That's reminded me of the Chariot card with those 2 dogs there in the front and her arms wide open, trusting the universe to guide her. Thy will be done, for the highest and greatest good of all, for the true manifestation of my purpose. And I'm going to leave it there, folks. Thank you for joining me. If you're interested in a personal reading, it is my birthday month, so I will be offering discounts for personal readings. We can do them via video chat, in person here at my home, or at your home if you're local. Or I can do a recorded, private, linked video for you here on YouTube. If you're interested in that, you can email me. It'll be in the description box below. But let's move on to the Divine Feminine and see where she's sitting this month. I hope you're all well. Thank you again for joining me. If you find it in your heart, please send very happy 13th birthday wishes to my granddaughter Quinn. I love you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.